Hello, Team Easy Dating. I am so pumped up. We've got my good friend, Antia Boyd, to talk about dating. Antia, say hi to everybody.
Hey everyone!
So today we are talking about shame to shine. And this is going to be great. And before we get into this, what do you think about my background so far that I need to work on?
Yeah, it's really epic. I love it. It shows really the man that you are. It's robust. I love it.
So everyone watching, go in the comments and tell me if you like the background or if I need to step my game up, because I'm taking this very seriously. And if I'm going to make videos for you guys, this background needs to be legit. And I love Antia because she's like, you're being masculine, which basically means I have no taste and it looks like crap. But she's complimenting me, so I love her for that. All right, let's talk about love and dating, shall we, Antia?
All right, let's do it, Mike.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about your dating life because I love this story. What was your journey like?
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I grew up in an emotionally absent household in Eastern Germany, in case you can't detect my accent. And I want you to really put yourself in my shoes as well, right? So I was growing up to an emotionally absent mother. And what that meant was, saying, I love you, right? Receiving hugs was, I always say, was as common as Christmas and Thanksgiving falling on the same day. And as you can imagine, when you're very little, right? I was trying to crawl into my mom's bed. And she was literally rolling over in her bed and was like, stör mich nicht. And at this moment, I was like, oh my God, my whole system was so like fractured and so scared that I just closed up like a shell. So ask yourself, where have you done that, right? So now you have the wound. So now what I do with it? Well, I made sure I become Miss Independent. So I'm not a burden. I made sure I don't need anyone, right? And I'm sure that's what relates to you too, right? So find your own, what was your coping mechanism? But however, what happened is now it was a walking contradiction, true? Because part of me wanted the love of my mom, and the other part wanted to say, fuck you guys, right? And so what ended up happening is I attracted men into my life when I started dating who were also conflicted inside of themselves. They're also known as the emotionally unavailable man, right? Or the flakes, or whatever you want to call it, right? That's how it looks like on the surface. Now, Mike, that went on for a few years until I said, enough is enough. I need to make a massive difference, right? If I want to have a massive difference in my life. So I got myself into UC Berkeley, left Germany, studied personality psychology, and really understanding how the dysfunctional dynamic I had with my mother directly translated into the dysfunctional relationship I had with men. You wouldn't necessarily make that connection, right? And so moving forward a few years, things started to improve a little bit, but not that much, because one thing my husband always says, the fish doesn't know that it's wet. So even though I learned all those principles and I actually started to teach this to women, I had like little support groups, 3-4 women, asked me all this advice, and I actually started to attract their men, and I was the maid of honor several times, and yada, yada, yada. It wasn't happening for me. And the biggest piece is because I didn't integrate the information, right? Like I got the information mentally, but it didn't lead to the transformation because that integral part was missing. And that's when I hired a one-on-one coach for myself, humbly, because, as an independent, strong woman, not the easiest thing to do. I will admit that. But you know what? Like literally, I broke through blind spots I didn't even know I had. I broke through being vulnerable without looking weak, and the shame that comes with the being vulnerable. We talk about that today. And then also setting boundaries without guilt, which again, guilt is just another version of shame, which we'll be also talking about today. So you're on the right call, right? And a couple months later, I met my husband, Brody. And one thing I said, Mike, is like, my husband will know right away, right? Like, no, I need to think about it. And you know what I mean? Like, I have to overcome this and that, like what men usually tell us, right? Check in next month, right? So to say, but he said, no, right away, first night, I'm the girl of the story. And that was the rest of the story. And now we're happily ever after, right? 5 years later, married, happy, Was 6 years later, 5 years married.
Wow. I got a
Yummy!
question.
Yeah.
And this is going to be intimate since I know Brody. Um, so Brody definitely as a younger person, and I can relate to this.
Yeah.
Like as men, we wanted a lot of men. We just wanted to explore, and we went maybe from woman to woman, like trying to figure out what we wanted, and also enjoying each
Mm-hmm.
woman and just exploring the world.
Totally.
And I know Brody and myself were explorers, and then when he found you,
Totally are.
he just wanted you, and he goes, "You are the woman of my story," and that's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What, did we need him to be at this point? Did he need to go through the exploration, or was there something special about you, or what caused him to commit, basically?
Yeah. So, well, because I was aligned, I attracted him in a time of his life where he was ready, right? As a matter of fact, he was quote unquote playing the field, which he should. He was 25 when I met him, right? So I totally love the wild man in men. And he really realized he can have anyone he wants. He could just walk into bars. He could end up with any girl he wanted. But he just really realized, I want something deeper, right? I want a spiritual connection. I want a partner. I want to build a business with this partner. So he had it was really about his life purpose, really understanding like, wait a minute, me going to bars, picking up girls, is that my life purpose, right? And so now he was really starting to connect with who's my life partner. Not like in a desperate way at all, because he's really independent. He's an INTJ on the Myers-Briggs. So rather an introvert, but very clear on his purpose, right? And I think that's why he could tell me right away that I'm the girl without him being afraid, oh, I hope she doesn't think I'm nuts, or I hope she thinks I'm crazy or whatever, which I thought, but he was so grounded in who he was. And it was only possible, he was my mirror image, because I also had worked myself to the part that I could actually receive that.
So I just filmed a video, and so on Do Opposites Attract, and people love to have this topic. And it sounds like you guys are not opposites at all and are just very similar, and that's what made this so easy for you guys. Is that right?
Well, so in a way, we're like similar in terms of how we think, our values, right? But then, like, I'm an extrovert, he's an introvert, right? I'm more perceiving, he's more judging. So I think there's definitely also, he's more system focused, I'm more people focused. So I think there's actually like a lot of differences that keep the relationship dynamic in their life, right? And also complementing. But yeah, absolutely. We met at a spiritual discussion group, right? So we both had similar worldviews, absolutely, and similar goals. We both were ideally really looking for a power partner to build a business with. Was the cherry on top, but we actually got that. So I would say yes and no, Mike.
Yeah. So what it sounds like, so that people can I'm a system guy, I guess, but I'm an extrovert. But anyway, so goals were aligned, values were aligned, but then probably like some of the things that actually are helpful in a relationship, when you've got one that's the extrovert, one that's the introvert, that's a good combination, because Antia can go float around the party talking to everybody and having a big smile, and he's just going to relax and let her do her thing, and he's going to sit there and chill. And that's good, because he's not taking her thunder, like doing all the talking. She wants to talk and she wants to interact. So I love that, and I think that's so valuable for people to understand. Goals, values aligned, and I mean, added bonus if your life purpose is exactly aligned. I mean, that's amazing.
We were both helping singles at the time, so it was really kind of crazy and a dream. It's like, don't expect that, ladies, right? But you never know. You never know, right? I would have never thought that would be possible.
And I love that you didn't talk about, I mean, obviously you're physically attracted to him, but that's not the thing that causes life partnership. It's the compatibility, it's the values. You didn't talk about right? You didn't talk about sexual attraction at all.
You know why? Because it wasn't like, that's another mistake women make, right? Like, oh my God, like there's all those fireworks. There weren't fireworks. It felt really calm. It felt like sort of coming home, very genuine, very natural. So the chemistry wasn't like the first thing that was like leading, which of course always means like you're about to experience the same thing over and over again, because your body recognizes it. And my body didn't recognize it, which was a good thing, right? Because Brody was a whole different new energetic experience for me, which I knew I needed because I was attracting narcissists and emotionally unavailable men and so on and so forth, right? So that's why, but of course we had the chemistry and we were intimate in a reasonable time frame right away. And I'm really crazy attracted to him, but that's definitely not the primary driving reason for sure. Yeah.
What about like, I want to reiterate this. We've talked about this in other videos, but not enough. You talked about when you get excited because it was familiar in past relationships. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, when we are little kids, right, we experience love. So love, maybe you got boundaries, maybe you didn't get boundaries, maybe power was enforced on you, maybe not. Maybe there was love, maybe there was not, right? So whatever it is, that was anchored in your body, right? So now I'm like, oh, love means dad always leaves. That's what love is, right? Oh, love means mom is rolling over and ignoring me. So now I'm getting excited in my system, right? Every time when I'm meeting a man who's going to treat me like my mom or who's going to treat me like my dad, because that's what to my body is love, right? So that's what you want to stay away from. You don't want to have those bodily, physical reactions. That's not a good sign.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's perfect.
Yes.
So what about like parents that were constantly fighting and yelling at each other? So they were good parents to you, and but they were yelling at each other. Like they stayed married, but it wasn't one of those like, wow, look at this, they're so perfect. Constant fighting.
Yeah.
What's that end up doing to the little girl that's seeing her parents do that?
Oh, well, there's one way how it can go. Either like she's totally gonna avoid it, right? So she's gonna attract men where maybe they want to fight and she wants to avoid it, right? Or she's gonna attract it like unconsciously, but she will attract this kind of energy because she's gonna be drawn to it, and she calls it love. She'll be like, oh, this means it's passion, and this means he cares, right? Because my parents cared and they fought. So when somebody causes drama, right, and it's like a high emotional uprise, that means somebody cares. If somebody's calm and collected, that means they don't care, right? So that's literally what this woman is thinking in her conscious mind. She will literally talk to her girlfriends exactly like that, and she'll be like, yeah, he's cute, but we don't have like a huge dynamic, you know what I mean? It's not really exciting, right? Yeah, well, because exciting means like arguments and slamming doors, right? So that's what this woman will experience.
Yeah, so someone wanting emotion because that shows that they care. If there's no emotion, they don't care.
Exactly.
All right, got it. Let's talk about this shame to shine thing.
Yeah.
And what is the biggest gift of having shame?
Yeah, so I see us moving away from wanting to feel inadequate, right? Or not feeling right or whatever it is, but actually because it makes us feel extremely vulnerable and extremely raw. But really understanding that from that place, you're completely open and available, right? That means you're completely open and available to new inspirations, to new innovations. Because look, when you're at the level of shame, like your whole identity is falling apart, right? Everything, you're losing like all filters. It's so deep. It's the deepest core wound, right? So to say, that you have inside of yourself. And so you can really draw from that to manifest your man, because from when you want to manifest your man, you need intensity, you need embodiment, right? And when you can stay with that shame, you can actually create that for yourself, right? Because you manifest through your body, right? You're not manifesting through your mind. You manifest through the earth, the body, right? So that's the biggest gift. It's like what I always tell my women is shame is like an accelerator, right? If you can be with shame, right, with feeling inadequate, well, guess what, Mike? Now you don't have to be afraid anymore to hide from it, to resist it, right? So now I can be like really crazy because I know, okay, worst case, I feel shame, okay? And I know what that feels like. So now I can actually be really powerful, or I can be really powerless, which is the ultimate surrender, which the ultimate surrender helps you to attract everything. It's highly magnetic, because why? Because you're not in sending mode, right? Not like this, but it's like this, it's receiving mode. So you're receiving attention, compliments, ideas, dreams, and you're man, so that's like really the biggest gift to understand, that you're now actually truly powerful in a way that you don't even know is inside of you, because you were coming from a place of resistance your whole life, dancing on eggshells.
I love that. And I mean, I hope people are understanding that, because that vulnerability, that authenticity, that is what brings a man, like, just makes you irresistible. And I'm always talking about how women can be irresistible, and it's that exact quality that it's just like, I want more of that. Like, give me more of that. And for men, especially like just dating, that's so rare to find. So the women that are watching this, that want to learn from Antia, want to learn from me, if you get that skill set, like, game changer. It's like 2% of women have the skill set, maybe less, probably way less. And you have it, like, everyone wants you. That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I've seen it. Go ahead.
And even like in relationship, Mike, when Bruni and I were dating, and I felt like, oh, I wanted to guilt trip him. I was like, well, damn it, now I need to call myself out on it, because otherwise I don't have an authentic relationship with him. And so I did that, right? I said like, hey, I just wanted to manipulate you. And so I could have felt shame, but because I called myself out on it, he was like, oh, really? How did you want to do that? And again, it was so attractive to him because it was so authentic. And it could have caused so much shame for me. As a matter of fact, my internal voice was saying, Antia, what the heck are you doing? Are you insane? Are you giving up all your power right now? We will have no more control over Brody. Well, that's true. You will no longer have control over your man, but you really don't need it. We really need to let go of this whole idea that we're not safe if we don't control the man.
Well, I want to add one point to this, because the man doesn't just get free run. But if Antia is being this like soft outside where she's just absolutely fantastic, even good guys are going to start poking at the boundaries and seeing where he can get, because that's in our nature. We're going to see what we can get.
Oh, yeah.
And so for as long as he's behaving well through this, it's like, all right, let him do it and let him go, and make sure, like, if he's a good guy, he's probably still taking you on dates, calling you, texting you, making you feel special, maybe getting you gifts or whatever.
Yeah.
But if he finally strikes that one chord or starts hitting things that are not acceptable to you, you can still at first come in that very soft way, like, when you do this, it makes me feel sad, or I love it when you do this, and pointing him in a direction. Like, it makes me so happy when you do X. But when he does strike that chord, let's say then you present like, when you do this, it makes me feel that, and he still keeps going. Eventually that soft part can mold into your hard interior. So you've still got that hard inside here, but you're soft to the exterior. So a man likes softness. He doesn't want to see that hard. He's got hard in his whole life. Now you can be like, that's unacceptable.
Absolutely.
And he's going to be able to hear it, because you've been so fantastic in the rest of the relationship, letting things happen, accepting him for who he is. When you finally say something's acceptable, he's like, well, Antia is the most amazing woman on the planet, and we have the best relationship, period. If that's unacceptable, this one thing, well, I've got Antia's back. I'm not doing that, and I got her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's Brody and I, we had those experiences, and that's exactly what happens. Like, I can't remember anything where it was really a no-go, and I made that clear and he repeated that. I can't remember one time that he did that. Like, it was one time and he totally respected it.
And it's okay if he does come back and do it again, just to be clear. But you got to train him like a puppy, like a dog. Remember, I told you I didn't like that? It would be amazing if you could do this instead. You'd make me so happy if you could do that.
Yeah.
And okay, well, instead of getting the negative thing, I get the positive reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I get appreciation. Oh, if I do this, you're going to give me a big hug and a kiss and say thank you and you're amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely he's going to want to go towards that route.
totally. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, sorry, I stole your thunder. Antia, you are freaking amazing. I learned a lot as per usual. You have a free gift for all my people watching this. Guys, I'm going to throw it in the description, and I'll throw it as a top comment, so it'll be impossible to not find. Antia, what free gift do you want to give to everybody?
Yeah, for those of you who just really struggle with the setting boundaries, like I said before, being vulnerable, being even like, Antia, what are you even talking about? You know, I can even fathom to imagine to overcome that many challenges inside of myself, right? I invite you to come on a Magnetize the Man clarity call with me, where we uncover what are your vulnerability thresholds? How do you talk yourself out of it, right? And what are the parts conflicts inside of yourself that are really fighting against each other, like I described mine in the beginning of the video. So for that, hop on over to magnetizetheman.com, and Mike is gonna post the link below as well. Magnetizetheman.com. Love you.
Let's go. Let's magnetize the man. That's another word for being irresistible, and she's got that clearly. Antia, thank you so much. And hopefully I'm going to be seeing you in like the next month again, now that we live close. So I'm pumped about that.
Totally.
And guys, watch out. I'm going to be interviewing on her husband's channel. I'll share that link, although I will be talking to men. So that'll be like the most exciting thing ever, because I'm always talking to what women should do. This time I'm giving the men some advice. So don't say I don't ever coach men. I do sometimes. So it's going to be fabulous.
I can't wait. That's going to be juicy.
Oh, yeah. Thanks again for coming on, and we will see you in person soon. Bye, guys, and thanks for watching. We'll have another video on Tuesday. Hit like, share this thing, subscribe if you haven't. And if you are already subscribed, hit the bell so that you actually get notifications when I put content out, because they automatically don't put the bell on for you guys. So I got to hook you up. All right. Love you guys. See you soon.
Bye. Much love.
Oh, where's the stop record button? I'm going to find it. Oh, there she is.